Is the U.S. fighting Iran to maintain the dollar's status as the dominant currency in global energy transactions and not for any other reason? President Donald Trump of the United States speculated publicly about the possibility of taking control of Iran's Kharg Island oil terminal located in the Persian Gulf. Concurrently, both the United States and Israel maintained their offensive operations against the Islamic Republic, despite emerging indications of advancements in the early stages of ceasefire negotiations. In a related development, Tehran targeted a crucial water and electricity facility in severely affected Kuwait as part of its ongoing strategy against the Gulf Arab nations. So far, there are no signs of any let-up in the fighting, nor a quick fix to the crisis. Amid the chaos and bloodletting in the Middle East, the petrodollar war theory is again the talk of the town. The theory argues that the U.S. engages in overseas interventions not mainly for the sake of national security or humanitarian concerns, nor is it solely about grabbing oil resources. Instead, the primary motivation lies in maintaining the dollar's position as the dominant currency for global energy transactions. This perspective suggests that nations that try to set oil prices in currencies such as euros, yuan, or other alternatives often face sanctions, political instability, or even military invasions. Here's all you need to know. After the collapse of the Bretton Woods system in 1971, when President Richard Nixon ended the gold standard, the dollar was no longer backed by gold. The United States sought an additional method to boost worldwide demand for its currency. In the year 1974, a pivotal strategic accord was established between the United States and Saudi Arabia. Saudi oil would be priced and sold in U.S. dollars, and in return, the U.S. would provide security guarantees and access to American financial markets. Other members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, largely followed suit, standardizing dollar-based oil trade. This arrangement became known as the petrodollar system. Given that oil ranks as the most heavily traded commodity globally, nations required dollars to make their purchases. Oil exporters then reinvested those dollars into U.S. Treasury bonds and financial assets, a process called petrodollar recycling. There is no official agreement that legally obligates OPEC nations to transact in dollars. Rather, it's a matter of tradition rather than legislation. In recent times, various oil producers, such as Saudi Arabia and Russia, have begun to embrace payments in yuan, euros, or other currencies in bilateral agreements. As per the Independent Institute, the dollar remains dominant largely because of habit, liquidity, switching costs, and the depth of U.S. financial markets. Even in the present day, a significant portion of worldwide oil transactions occurs in dollars. The dollar's deep integration with the international banking infrastructure, especially the SWIFT payments network, further solidifies its leading position. Advocates of the petrodollar war theory frequently reference a number of prominent cases. In the year 2000, Saddam Hussein declared that Iraq would transition its oil transactions from U.S. dollars to euros as part of the United Nations Oil for Food program. 3 years later, in 2003, the United States launched an invasion of Iraq, effectively toppling his government. Subsequently, the country's oil sales returned to being priced in dollars. Later, Muammar Gaddafi championed the idea of a pan-African currency, a gold-backed dinar intended to facilitate trade, particularly in oil. In 2011, the civil war in Libya prompted intervention from NATO forces, with the United States being part of the coalition, ultimately leading to Gaddafi's demise. Nicolas Maduro advanced oil transactions beyond the confines of the dollar and bolstered relationships with China and Russia. As time progressed, U.S. sanctions and pressure escalated significantly, culminating in the Trump administration's capture of him in January 2026. According to think tank analysts, advocates of the petrodollar war theory observe a significant relationship between nations that attempt to diversify their currency options for energy transactions and the negative treatment they often face at the hands of the United States.